Welcome to the Goddess Wisdom Podcast. Unveil your inner goddess and weave your sacred life. Join me, Maureen Keefe, the guiding goddess for this journey, and discover ways to claim the power of your divine nature. Explore how to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary and the mundane into the magical. Are you ready to embark on this journey? I invite you to dip your toes into the world of goddess wisdom. Join me now and let the magic begin. Welcome, goddesses. Welcome back for episode 2 of the Goddess Wisdom Podcast. Today, we're going to explore claiming the title goddess. I have to share that I was really shocked when I discovered my first episode was only 15 minutes long. That introduction was so potent, so concise, so packed with information to be unpacked that it literally felt like 45 minutes to me. So I wanted to follow it up with an actual episode right away, so you'd get a taste of what's to come. And so eventually these episodes are going to be a little more impromptu, but for now, I really want to make sure I cover specific information to really create a foundation for us to spring forth from. So I hope the rattling of the pages isn't too distracting. I also want to clarify my intention regarding venturing into goddess spirituality and the divine feminine and how we're going to go about exploring that. So first, no, I'm really not trying to impose my beliefs on you. I am laying out my perspective and where I'm coming from as I share this information. So take what works for you, leave what doesn't, translate it into your own language. Just don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Know that right now, as I'm explaining this, it might get a little bit cumbersome with semantics, but just let the information flow through you. What matters to you will stand out, and trust that the information that follows will be worth this unfolding. So I want to address a likely elephant in the living room. So this podcast does not have a Wiccan orientation, nor is it about the priestess movement, but we will definitely be exploring many elements, aspects, and beliefs that they embrace and embody. These are circles that have kept elements of the divine feminine alive through the test of time. But they're not the only place she exists. So, as an aside, I have to share, I live on the outskirts of a small rural mountain town. I jokingly refer to living in the suburbs. A few religious local acquaintances here have warily asked me if I'm a witch. I responded a little snappily to one, only if you piss me off. To be quite frank, the way she asked me pissed me off. Not that I think there's anything wrong with being a witch. I just personally don't adhere to any organized religions. I certainly don't think there's anything wrong with anyone who does. All faiths have a place at this table, and of course this table is round. And as I totally believe all paths lead home. Though as a bit of a disclaimer, I have to say I'm just not on board with Satanism and black magic and things like that. But that is a discussion for another day. Here are my personal views in a scallop shell. I was raised Catholic and went to Catholic school for 8 years. And I've been recovering from all of that for half a century now. I do believe in God, which I feel is both masculine and feminine, and is pure consciousness and pure potential. Terms I may use are all that is, all of creation, the universe, source, God, goddess, Sophia, oneness, pure source energy, and more. I believe we're all facets of the original source of all of creation. And as such, we are all creators, and we are all divine, and we embody both divine feminine and divine masculine attributes. We're all part of the one, and therefore part of the whole holiness, and each other. So there's that. Moving on, we're going to explore everything goddess in this Goddess Wisdom podcast journey. The intent, though, is to delve into these realms, exploring everything goddess about you in your own life, through your own lens, revealing your knowingness through your own awarenesses, awakening her, you, the aspects of you that have likely been subverted, disowned, denigrated, disregarded, or maybe just never considered. As you learn about these aspects of self, you'll be supported as you venture to express them, or not, on your own terms. This can be by speaking up or out, writing, singing, dance, music, or perhaps painting, or even how you wear your hair, or dress, or adorn yourself. The opportunities are limitless. You stand at the gateway of expanding possibilities. But before we get too deeply in today's topic, claiming the title goddess, I first want to invoke the essence and spirit of the goddess of goddess wisdom. So you might be asking, who's that? The essence and spirit of the goddess of goddess wisdom. So I asked too, who is that? And I received an immediate answer. It is the overarching divine feminine principle of all that is. So I'm saying it is the, instead of she, just in this moment to make a point, because all that is traditionally referred to as God. And I just want to point out, God is not a man, and God is not a woman. God is both. God is all essences, as is goddess. And then there's also the divine masculine nature of all essences and the divine feminine nature of all essences. So I won't intentionally attribute male to the term God unless goddess is in the conversation, referring to the feminine aspects of God, of the divine. I also want to repeat from episode 1 that the word goddess is inclusive, even containing within it the divine masculine name, God, in the divine feminine name, goddess. We're exploring divine feminine aspects and goddessy topics. And we'll even explore goddess as a female deity. But mostly, we just want to awaken within us the divine feminine, to restore balance and honor to ourselves and our lives, and eventually to the planet. So I'm invoking the overarching divine feminine principle of all that is. And do note that the word principle refers to a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation for a belief, for a system or belief or behavior, or for a chain of reasoning. So I'm pretty excited that such clear, high-level information came through to clarify the energies we're calling in. And now I will be saying her and she. Whew, glad we got through all that. Now we can have some fun. So first I have to share that back when I typed, it is the overarching divine feminine principle of all that is, the water in my humidifier, which was off, bubbled loudly, getting my full attention. So that's in response to the pressure change in the room, announcing the arrival. It was a powerful affirmation of presence with a capital P. And do note too, water is a divine feminine element. So let's take a moment and acknowledge this and create sacred space. I invite you to put your hand on your heart and through your imagination, drop a cord of light flowing lightning like roots to the heart of Mother Earth, our beloved Gaia. Feel her love flowing into your own heart center, glowing brighter and brighter. From this place, flow love into the heavenly realms, The highest frequencies of heavenly love available to us flows into our heart centers as well. We are now uniting heaven on earth within us. Allow heavenly love to flow into the earth and Mother Earth love to flow into the heavens through us. Activating heaven on earth within us, lighting up every cell in our bodies with the frequencies of heaven on earth within us. Now activating heaven on earth and emanating that out throughout the entire planet and beyond. We are the answer we have been waiting for. We are the solution we've been seeking. Know that this power is ever present within you. You have the ability to activate it again and again with your focus and intention. So please do. We welcome the pure divine feminine essence that has flowed through all goddesses that have come before us and is awakening within us now, men and women alike. And I personally open to remember and bring through this wisdom for all who will hear this. So how are we all doing? Are you feeling pretty yummy, pretty lit up? Are you feeling the remembering of something long forgotten within you stirring? Let's roll. So today we're going to talk about goddess as a title, as an identity, and whether or not we can claim it, embrace it, embody it. And if not, why not? So goddess, what does this word mean to you? If you were to describe a goddess, what would that description entail? What meaning do you personally attribute to goddess or being a goddess? Can you claim it as a title or a word to describe you? How does it feel when I welcome you as a goddess? Do you feel included in that greeting, like I'm talking directly to you? Because I am. Or are you feeling like I'm greeting the others and you're watching from the sidelines? So my friend Della Webb, a goddess sister of mine, and I spell that sister as S-Y-S, the Y honoring women as in gynecology, and capital star, S-T-A-R, to honor who and what we are, stars. So a goddess sister of mine, Della, was originally going to co-host this podcast with me. She and I began discussing calling ourselves goddesses, donning the mantle of the goddess, as in figuratively wearing the robes of the goddess or claiming the title, associating us with being goddesses as we hosted this podcast and how that felt. And we went deep to understand what was happening within us as we did this. So I was challenged. I personally could not have felt a greater disparity between my definition of goddess and how I felt about myself. And when I tried to claim that title, I felt myself wanting to slouch down and hide. I felt myself cringing, like my shoulders curling over my heart, slouching down, not wanting to be seen, kind of bracing myself for attack or mockery. We both discussed our issues in depth with claiming and embracing our power. Know that that will be explored in another episode to come, claiming and embracing our power. So I invite you to explore the same. Think about claiming the title of the goddess as I share my experience. Jot down how you feel. What thoughts surface? Are they fears, taunts, attacks? Or is it evocative, inviting, enticing, alluring, scintillating? How does it feel in your body? And where do you feel it? I really encourage you to get a journal for these episodes. I'll talk a little more about that later. So you'll want to define what being a goddess means to you. As for me, goddess means quintessential woman, or the ideal representation and power of a woman, or what a woman as a goddess emits and conveys. And to be embarrassingly honest, my original definition, which still holds, or description of a goddess is very superficial. Goddess to me represents a beautiful, vivacious woman with an exquisite body, face, and hair. So here's a personal reveal. I acquired my sense of a woman's value from my covert narcissistic father. So, of course, the goddess, a goddess's main value is based on being attractive and pleasing to men. Think Playboy Bunny. Or mother raising the children and keeping them out of dad's hair and cooking dinner and making them look good in public. All right, a deeper exploration revealed to me that I also feel that a goddess exudes an air of elegance, class, and grace. She does have presence and is regal. But interestingly, she doesn't speak much. Reserved is a word that comes to mind. So there's my initial perception of what a goddess is. And now I'm going to share how that made me feel when I explored that as a title or a definition for me. In episode 1, I shared that I gained weight in the last few years, and I am really quite unable to embrace loving myself where I'm at. I can love me, but I am not loving where I'm at with regard to my weight at all. Know that I will be in future episodes addressing loving ourselves where we're at and what that means or not, etc. So I definitely want to do something about my weight, but I just have not made it the priority it requires or made the commitment to myself to follow through with that. So secondly, due to off-the-chart stress, thyroid issues, absorption issues, nutritional deficiencies, all stemming from lack of self-care, I lost a ton of hair. My hair became so alarmingly thin, I was afraid I was actually balding. And thirdly, although I've come a long way in the last year reclaiming a more youthful facial appearance, back when we were having these conversations, I had not. This daddy's little girl was not happy to be losing ground in the youthful and attractiveness departments. To be honest, the energy behind this is terror, horrified, desperate, afraid I'll disappear, be regarded as invisible, be forgotten, or even die. So clearly this is a topic of a future Goddess Wisdom podcast episode too. So back to the exploration of donning the title of goddess. A year ago, I could not have felt farther from claiming for myself or as an identity the first half of my description of what a goddess is. And as a quick share, I am grateful to report that I did crack the code on my hair loss and the supplements I needed. So slowly my hair is coming back in. The thinning is still obvious to me and continues to pose some styling issues in the meantime. After all, we're girls, right? Women, right? Yeah, we care about our hair. So if you're interested in seeing my before and after pictures for reclaiming a more youthful appearance, pop over to the landing page for my wonderful and unique offering that I created called Drops from the Fountain of Youth. These are all personally attested to 30 days of non-invasive, non-product-oriented, holistic tips and solutions to turning back the hands of time for your appearance, your health, and well-being. I'm really, really proud of this. It turned out to be way more value-packed than I ever even dreamed and way more involved to create, but it's complete and I am super proud of it and I would love for you to partake as well. You can find that at goddesswisdompodcast.com under offerings. Okay, so regarding the second half of my goddess description, exudes an air of elegance, class, and grace. I'm sincerely laughing. I have been a mountain girl for 25 years now. I traded my high heels for hiking boots. Baseball caps and hoodies are my daily attire. And having lived alone for many years, my manners are sorely lacking, and my carriage has long become a pumpkin. And as an aside, I drop the F bomb like it's the word the. So coarse or a little rough around the edges would be a more apt description of me than elegance, class, and grace. Although I would love to reclaim those and embody those. So that said, in all fairness, I can still rock regal, no matter how I look or what I'm wearing, but I'm a Leo. I have an innate sense of royalty, no matter what. I do possess presence, but truth be told, it has frequently been a well-practiced facade, hiding the real truth of me not feeling good about myself at all. And I really want to address this because I feel it's super common, especially for those raised in trauma, no matter how subtle that trauma might have been. Also, for those of us raised in various forms of dysfunctional family dynamics. You know, pretty much all of us. It's the new normal. In the Goddess Book Club, we're reading Codependent No More by Melody Beattie. And I chose that book because I feel that restoring divine order in our lives by making ourselves number one and knowing how to have and hold healthy limits and boundaries is critical for us being able to claim and unveil our inner goddesses. So I was sharing with the members that the memories that were surfacing for me as we went through this book felt more like trauma flashbacks. And as guidance does, following that episode, I experienced a trail of breadcrumbs that led me to another book I own and have not read yet, called Complex PTSD: From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker, which, believe it or not, actually had a chapter on emotional flashbacks. So there is a discussion of overwhelming self-loathing being a byproduct of parental neglect and rejection or disregard. Also referring to the core of it being toxic shame. They reference the classic by John Bradshaw, Healing the Shame That Binds You. So if this information resonates with you, I totally encourage you to work with my trauma clearing exercise. You'll find a link to it in the show notes at goddesswisdompodcast.com/episode-2. It's free, it's potent, it's lightning fast and effective. And if you use it on a daily basis, you will clear out your closets and you will up-level your life in ways you can't even imagine. And if you marathon it, you might experience, like I did, 10 years peeling off your face as you release all that inner dissonance and fending off all of the memories and thoughts and feelings of negativity and criticism about you. You'll be shocked and you'll feel so much lighter. So back to my goddess description. The reserved part totally has me laughing out loud going, what? Where did that come from? Like, I don't like consciously esteem reserved people. So I would say that that is definitely channeled information because first off, I'm a chatty girl by nature, if you hadn't figured that out, and I don't have a judgment around that. Also, when information comes to me, when this information about being reserved, a goddess being reserved, I see it and feel it like a presence. So there's another clue that it's channeled. It's just like, it's really like kind of in my face. So exploring how reserved and goddess fit together and why this is coming forth in this way, I would say really has to do with power. by not just spewing every thought that crosses our minds and being a little more reserved, observing, and discriminately sharing, we would definitely have more impact. And so I just find it very interesting that it came through. The essence and spirit of the goddess wisdom clearly wants it to be discussed and explored as an overarching divine feminine principle of all that is. So when the goddess wants something to be known, by goddess, we make it known. And in preparation for producing this podcast, I was researching the phrase embodying the goddess, or what is an embodied goddess. I ran across a really wonderful interview by Tammy Simon of Sounds True. She was interviewing Sarah Durham Wilson about her new book, Maiden to Mother, Unlocking Our Archetypal Journey into the Mature Feminine. Sarah was discussing a rite of passage that is missing in the priestess movement, and it's the transition from maiden to mother. So as a teaser, I feel that the first half of my goddess definition is 100% maiden. And I feel that the second half of my goddess definition is 100% mother, especially the reserved part, which is exactly why I feel this is coming up. So we will revisit and delve more deeply into this topic in a later episode. And maybe I can even score an interview with Sarah. But if you're inspired by this information and feel called to know more about Maiden to Mother, unlocking our archetypal journey into the mature feminine now, you can find a link for Sarah's book on this topic in our show notes too. So I want you to know that being inspired to create this podcast began an initiation journey for me. I have definitely felt this information move through me, awaken me, and activate me in ways I would likely not have experienced without it. So exploring Embrace Goddess as a title is really where it all began. And I really want to invite you to do the same. So again, I strongly encourage you to start keeping a journal as we progress through these Goddess Wisdom podcast episodes. You'll want to remember these new and enhanced experience you're going to have and the journey you personally took claiming them. So here are some questions to work with. Where are you hiding in your life? Where are you playing small? What is your greatest fear of claiming the title goddess? Envision saying to someone, I am a goddess. How does that make you feel? What do you need to change to step into those shoes, to don the mantle of the goddess, to accept the scepter? Are you wearing masks or costumes to please others, to comply, to fit in, or perhaps to outwardly rebel? If you have zero problem embracing the title, for example, your definition of goddess aptly describes you as you currently are, your perception of self, your level of success, accomplishment, mastery, your appearance, your ability to claim your own power, etc. I want to know how you got there. I want to know what you bump up against, or perhaps where you would like to grow and expand even more now that you've arrived. You may be living your best life, but glossing over making more meaningful contributions. Is there a sense of something missing? If not, what is your greatest message you would impart on others who are desiring to claim and attain what you have? So we're just scratching the surface of this goddess meaning and what it means to us personally. And again, I really encourage you to start keeping a journal as we progress through these Goddess Wisdom podcast episodes. They are meant to be thought-provoking, prompting a deeper exploration into your thoughts, feelings, perceptions, awarenesses, your dreams, goals, and visions. Keep track of the questions that arise for you. And please do feel free to drop these questions and comments and ahas into the comments box on each of the show notes pages. Or if you'd rather, make comments under the YouTube videos or in Facebook comments. Let's get conversations started. Let's evolve thought, perceptions, awarenesses, and most importantly, each other. So, part of my closing ritual for the Goddess Wisdom podcast episodes, I want to thank somebody in particular in each episode. And today I want to thank Tammy Simon of Sounds True for being such a brilliant, yet oh so understated shining light in the movement of raising consciousness on the planet. Talk about quintessential reserved. Wow. Sounds True was around way back, and I mean way back when I was a teenager. And I remember hungrily awaiting each new catalog of recorded offerings available. I was like on fire with wanting to learn more and delve into these exotic topics. She was a forerunner in getting the wisdom of our times and the wisdom of the ancients shared. So, Tammy, bless you, sister. I bow in grateful homage to you. I also want to thank Arielle of the Starseed Hotline. And I want to thank Arielle because as I am doing more and more recording, I am wanting to have a quality voice, and I am experiencing throat issues. And she taught me that putting Tabasco sauce on the back of your tongue will help clear your throat. And so I'm drinking Tabasco sauce water as we speak. So I bow in homage to you, Goddess Arielle of the Starseed Hotline. So in our next Goddess Wisdom podcast adventure, I'm going to reveal awarenesses and wisdom that I claimed from my own past life recall, being an Amazon warrior goddess. I'll share what I remember as well as what I have gleaned from that lifetime to advance my expansion in this one. So it's my intention to release a new episode every Friday. I'll also be creating unscheduled off-topic podcasts called Unveiled with Maureen Keefe. These are going to be available to listen to in our membership platform at members.maureenkeefe.com. So pop over there and create an account and see what is there to find and discover and explore. In the meantime, goddesses, try on that goddess title, don those robes, heft that scepter in different ways, and see how it feels. Explore adorning yourself with these energies and explore what it feels like to embody them, to express them in some way. So until next time, beloved goddesses, blessings and love to you from your guiding goddess of the Goddess Wisdom Podcast, Maureen Keefe. I want to thank you for joining me today for the Goddess Wisdom Podcast. Unveil your inner goddess and weave your sacred life with Maureen Keefe. To discover more about Maureen's Ascension Coaching for taking your life to the next level and to unveil your fullest potential facilitated by her transformational talents, you can find her services at maureenkeefe.com. I look forward to you joining me on another Goddess Wisdom Podcast adventure. Until then, may your journey be blessed in all ways with love and gratitude from your guiding goddess, Maureen Keefe.